So I was born in November of 1988 and grew up in one of the rural areas in the coastal part of Kenya, to be precise, Taita. The very place that I enjoyed my childhood up to the time I got my ID, 18 years of age. So my primary school life began in the year 1995 and ended in the year 2003, aged around 14 years. How were my experiences in a primary school setup? I've categorized my experiences into 6 areas that I really want to capture here. The first one, I was born talented in drawing. By the time I discovered myself and got to understand the world, things that I can remember to this very day is that I had drawing materials by my side. And every time I saw my dad drawing, having inherited the talent from him, I could also settle down and draw. I grew up loving cars, and so 90% of what I used to draw were cars, something that I did the most during my primary school days. Of course, with time, I developed into other aspects of art through the opportunities that I got from at the school, because the teachers knew of my talent. Opportunities like drawing charts, diagrams, something that was made easier because by then art was part of the subjects in our curriculum up until I was in class 5 or 6, when things changed and subjects like art, craft, music were removed from the syllabus. So even my classmates knew that I could draw. The second experience, I had that intense interest in learning a new skill and in my own way. I was that curious boy. Under this, let me talk of some 2 experiences that will capture this properly. So the first one, I'll talk of the bicycle experience. My father used to own a bicycle, which he always used to ride to work. I used to love seeing him ride the bicycle, and most of the time on weekends we could go to church together on the same bicycle. At that time, all I could see were adult bicycles. I had a strategy. So early in my life, the period between 1994 and 1997, I wanted to balance on a bicycle like my dad. Believe me, I achieved exactly that. This is how I used to do it. Wait for the time when my dad had laid the bicycle somewhere, most of the time leaning on the wall. Wait for the time also when he's fully immersed into his other activities at home. Pick the bicycle. Of course, I had learned how to push the bicycle. I had been doing it for some time. So these are the practices that I made. Looking at this picture, this is what I achieved in the end. My community at home always remember me for this, and it makes me feel good. I can't remember the many times I fell down and my father rushed into the scene every time he had me crying out loud. I still remember the many first aids I received from him. And that is how I learned to ride a bicycle, the hard way, my own way. Now, what's so special about my bicycle experience? Being the tiniest of my peers, and as I've always been to this very day, I became a source of inspiration to them. And through that experience, I became a teacher to my peers. They wanted to do it because I had done it, and so I took them through. I set the standard. I had all the lessons because I did it my way. Then for me personally, it made me learn a very important lesson. Failure is not the end of trying. No matter the number of times you fail, Success always comes at the very end of it all. So the second experience under this, the car experience. I can comfortably say that I had the car experience all through my primary school life, different from my peers, all the way from my toy cars to real vehicles. First of all, I started by saying that I loved cars from the very beginning. So for me, I was on with my toy cars till the very day I did KCPE in 2003, until I made a personal decision to stop. And that is so many years after my peers had left the game. Some even stopped doing the toys in class 3. Now, what triggered me to continue for that long? The toy car that I made for myself in class 5 in 1999. It was at a time when we were all revolutionizing for bigger toys. I made mine customized to my need. I wanted something that I could drive everywhere. I really craved to have that. I made it myself. My peers came up with a scooter. So with this, you had to go uphill and then ride on it going back downhill. I didn't like that, so I never featured. It didn't go well with the school head of our primary school at that particular time. And that is how Sam closed that chapter of Toys for Good. At that time, several vehicles were parking at our home. And so I had the privilege to experience a lot of what I loved. And it's at that time that one of the teachers who used to park his pickup Datsun at our place decided to try me on the steering. First chance, and I did it like an expert. One of my classmates saw me driving, and it became a talk of the class the following day to my other friends. What's so special about this? I did it way so early than my peers. The third experience, the name Docta. This is the name that I was given by my parents around a month into my life. Apart from taking my grandfather's name, I was also given this other name. So I grew up people calling me Doctor to this very day. What an inspirational name for me. It made me popular around my peers, my community, the schools that I've been all through. Many people have made fun of me, asking me to treat them. And I grew up knowing I have a duty to treat people. Indeed, I treat. You will know the disease that I cure later on. Now, trying to combine that name Doctor with other aspects of me, the future looked bright. And I could feel it, the source of my inspiration. The fourth experience, tantrums. I used to really get so angry as a child, especially when things didn't go my way. I always stood firm for what I wanted. One thing that I remember liking the most is getting to occupy the front seat whenever we are traveling, be it in a public or a private car. Nothing made me happy in my childhood whenever we are traveling than being next to the driver, getting the full experience of the road ahead, the overtaking, and what the driver is doing. My parents had to be creative all the time to ensure that I had the view that I wanted. Nothing has changed much to that. But maybe I can say that I have learned to use my personality in a positive way. Because indeed, there are so many challenges in life that needs one to stand firm. The fifth experience. Now this one I got from my parents. It came at a time when I had not even started reading. This is what they told me. That there is a book that had around 125 topics. And I had mastered the heading of each topic, and I could tell each and every topic by the opening of the page. That's so special about me. The sixth experience, my love for mathematics. I remember in my lower primary, standard 1, 2, and 3, I used to perform very well. I can't remember a time when I operated outside the first 3 positions exam-wise. But then when I got to class 4, things changed. I lost track a little bit, and the trend continued in class 5 in 1999. My parents saw it important that I should repeat class 5 and link up with the incoming class the following year, 2000, the year 2000. The reason that I remember them talk about was that I was not operating with my age group, and that when I repeat, I will get to link up very well with the incoming class. A decision that proved to be a master class on my part. The year 2000, standard 5, new classmates, new set of experiences altogether. I got to meet someone, we'll call him Pati, who became my best friend. We just clicked. He even became one of my students in my bicycle classes. He was so good academically. It is at this time too that I started to feel attached for mathematics. The only subject that I used to outclass him at is a subject that I made my own going forward. He used to put that fight to ensure that he maintained being position 1 in every exam, and I used to fight to lead in mathematics. I never loved reading, so much of my primary life I spent calculating. And so the moment I grasped a mathematical concept, that was it for me. The rest of the subjects was just the things that I grasped in class. Whenever I sat at home in the evenings, as my siblings were studying, I could spend that time to draw cars. But then we uplifted each other in our own areas of weaknesses, and in the end, we all achieved our objectives. He led the class in KCPE, and I led in mathematics with a grade A-. And what a feeling we all got seeing our names on the notice board. What do you learn from this? Our goals were slightly different, and in the end, we all achieved what we had wanted. Lesson: stick to your lane all the time. It's very important. So in the end, what did I know about myself? Doctor can draw. Doctor can inspire. Doctor loves mathematics. Doctor dares, loves to try the untried, loves to invent. Doctor loves to make decisions based on his thinking. And indeed, these are the very things that I needed to invest in going forward. Are you able to know something about yourself that much? There is something that you need to tap into. You've got gifts in you that you need to bring into use to the world. Something unique about you. You don't need to go complex here because it's the simple things that matter. What's your combination? The better you know about yourself, the more you improve on your approach to life. Those who succeed in this day and age have invested a lot of their time in knowing themselves and have managed to go for the grade A approach to life. No one knows you more than you know yourself. But then, in every situation in life, challenges are bound to happen. In my case, what challenge did I encounter? Meet me in the next part of my story as I take you through my secondary school life, how I hit rock bottom academically.